It's been a long ride in the middle of the night, even a longer journey before. Where did you come from?
Nigeria.
Nigeria.
Yes.
These are not ordinary travelers. They're on a pilgrimage. You know, that story was what I call pure gumshoe journalism. You go, you see, you report. This 30-minute ride has become an underground pipeline for people using the U.S. as a jumping-off spot for a chance at sanctuary in Canada.
Turn right onto Roxham Road.
Roxham Road is a one-way route out of the U.S. Just ahead, where the road ends, is the border with Canada. So we arrived, we waited, and the story happened in front of our eyes. It was incredible. How did you find out about this route?
I got to see it on the TV. Yes, and I went to Google, I went to search Google, and I figured out this is what everybody's doing, that Canada has a future for the children, for everybody. So that's why I want to give it a chance. It is a risk, I understand that. I want to take the risk because I know there's a future here for me and the baby.
Why don't you stay in the United States?
Because Donald Trump don't want me to stay in the United States. He said he doesn't want immigrant. I'm illegal in the United States because I only have visa. And if you don't want me, I cannot stay there.
I've covered refugees and migration all over the world in desperate circumstances from war. I didn't expect ever to see this on my border, on the border with Canada. People crossing into Canada is normal. We take in more than 300,000 immigrants a year, but this was abnormal. As the shuttle arrives and those passengers clamber out, they collect up their belongings, everything they can possibly carry. The RCMP is waiting.
This is not illegal port of entry. This is an illegal point. This is not a way to come in.
Yes, we know.
Okay. Does anybody have a valid visa currently for the United States, even if it expires soon?
Yes.
Yes. Are you aware that the very minute you cross this border, your status in the United States is nullified?
Yes.
It struck me as theater is too big a word because it was definitely what they needed to do from the authorities' point of view, but it was certainly for the cameras.
Just because you come here doesn't mean you get to stay.
Yes, yes, and we believe in this.
Yes. Do you have any questions for me?
No. We just want to come in. That's it. No. Please.
It is the power of storytelling that if you approach people with the right tone and at the right moment in their lives, they actually do want to tell you their story, and they want to tell you the most intimate part of their story at that moment, and that was Aisha. It just spilled out. How long have you been in America?
Close to a year now. There's no job with 4 children. No job, nothing, no place to live. We used to go to church, to go to mosque, to beg for money, for food for our children. Now they don't want to take them in school.
Do you have legal papers to stay in America?
I don't have legal paper. Right. I don't have legal paper. I left Nigeria with frustration. I get to America, it's even worse. Look at my kids. Please, we need home. We need home.
You need a home.
Our children need to go to school. In Africa, those children, they don't want them to go to school. They want them to go for Arabic school. At the tender age, they'll give them to man.
It was a wonderful exchange between a person with a real story to tell and a reporter who just happened to be there. Do you think you'll be able to stay in Canada?
I can work. I can work. I'm an African woman. If I see job, I will do it. I want to take care of my children. I want better life for my children.
Whether you call it border jumpers, illegal crossing, irregular crossing, migration, all that we had heard for many, many months in Canada was encapsulated in that moment. And I think for some people who saw the story, they began to understand that these aren't numbers. These aren't refugee claimants. They're not faceless people. Every one of them has a story to tell. These are people at desperate times in their life, and they're looking to Canada for a resolution. Canada is urging them to apply at the official border, the front door, but it's holding the back door open. And for migrants, that means at least 1 foot in. Susan Ormiston, CBC News, near Plattsburgh, New York.